Something that I was wondering, because I saw that you don't watch movies unless you're on a plane. Kind of same thing with TV shows. You watch YouTube. Do you take in the news at all? And if so, how?
I watch the Philip DeFranco show.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You may have heard of it.
I worry every time that I like if I ask a question like that, I'm like, it's just me being like, do you watch me? No, but I'm always interested.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I watch, the only live TV I watch is generally sports. Sports Center in the morning. What happened last night? Somebody hit someone with a football helmet. That's wild. I had no idea. Like, the only way that I will watch TV is if some event is happening and I want to see it as it's happening. Other than that, I almost don't have time for movies and TV. So when I'm on a plane, there's nothing better to do. I'll watch stuff like that. But yeah, I watch the PDS and like occasional like other related, topical stuff on YouTube mainly.
I was gonna say, do you follow anything on Twitter? Because I've seen more and more, like, people were talking about Facebook, and I think obviously there's a generational gap there. But I feel like so many people just consume it via Twitter now.
Yeah, a lot. I follow some tech news on Twitter, and like the rest of the news, I ask Google what happened every morning. I go, "How's my day?" And it says, "Here's the weather. Here's the top 3 news stories," and that's how I generally know what's going on. And beyond that, I am immersed in tech news for the rest of the day.
Man, I really wish I could take more advantage of Google Assistant.
Yeah.
Like because essentially it's just like, here's your schedule, here's what it'll be to work, but you have an Apple phone, so go fuck yourself. Yeah.
No, you can still use it. You can still use Google Assistant, Google Calendar. I mean, my life runs through Google Calendar, basically. I'll show you, I color code everything. Like, everything is super well organized. There's where I'm at right this week, next week.
I was like, I felt 2 things. Wow, that's really, really organized, and oh God, anxiety.
Yeah, lots of boxes.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that and that general structure of like knowing what's happening, I would be lost. Like, I would not have very much efficiency, I would say.
Oh yeah.
So that's how I, like most people, like, structure my day. But then Google Assistant just reads them off in the morning, reads the weather, and then just tells me what Trump said on Twitter, basically.
It feels like that's 75% of news. Although right now when we're filming this, it's 95% of news.
I must have missed something, but yes.
Oh no, it's just we're recording this while the Friday impeachment hearing is happening.
Oh, that's what's happening. Okay.
And there was a little thing, Trump live tweeted, and then that tweet got shown in the hearing. It's a very weird time to be alive.
Yeah.
It's just the way everything.
Yeah, I almost make a bet every time the news article starts in the morning where the first words out of the reporter's mouth are President Trump. And it's about like 70% right now.
Here's the thing. Let's say even if he gets voted out of office, what Trump is saying will, unless, I don't know, he decided, you know what? I'm just going to hang out. Yeah. Not going to happen. He's going to be sounding off every day.
It will continue to echo
for
a long time. Yeah.
I was wondering, so news as far as like things that have stood out to you or maybe affected your space, have tariffs changed anything regarding kind of like the tech or phone or anything space?
Not much.
No.
We hear about it because the tech giants have to weigh in on it because they're so international and so global, but phones have been expensive for a couple of years anyway.
Sure.
And I feel like the only thing we really see is a slight push to build more things in the US. And sometimes people care about that, but we're so focused on the final product that unless that change has some effect on the product, it almost doesn't matter. So Apple's building the Mac Pro mostly in the US, sourcing parts from otherwhere, but like assembling it here. And that's cool. And that's because of the tariffs. But like, is the computer good? That's what I'm focused on. So
sure. But I mean, so one of the things that stood out to me, and it feels like China's in the news every day, and the way I think it connects to kind of your world is probably Huawei. Yeah. Do you trust Huawei?
That's a good question. Do I trust Huawei? As a company, so it's funny, there's different parts of Huawei that I either communicate with or will work with and could either trust or not. My relationship with them is like, I'll either buy their smartphone or like I'll receive like a review unit smartphone from them. And generally their smartphones have been pretty good. And so I trust that part of it. But the services that tie back that most people would say they don't trust, or like, should I put my information in this Huawei app that will clearly talk back to, China and will go through other things? Yeah, I don't know if I trust those.
So will you log into your personal stuff on a Huawei phone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have that level of trust.
Does that mean I trust it, or does that, because like,
I mean, they're constant, like, or they're like investigations into, it's a company from a state or a country that's seen as like a hostile state.
Right. Yeah. I feel like every time I'm reviewing something and I'm getting like fully immersed in it as if someone who bought it would, I just have to bypass those trusts, whether I trust them or not. I will log into that phone and use it every day, because how else will I find out if there's some bug or something doesn't work?
Sure.
So I do log into the phone, but I don't know if that means I trust it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a very political answer that I respect. Sure. Yeah. Has did it affect your relationship? I know that it's like 2 years ago and you've probably talked about it way too many fucking times at this point. Gal Gadot, I always mispronounce it.
Fun times.
Was that just like a kind of like a fun moment and it didn't affect the relationship, or?
Yeah, basically. Okay. As much as that blew up and it was really funny.
It was so funny.
It was kind of great. That has not changed any of my relationship. Yeah. So that's fine.
I like that you're such a nice dude that when people saw it happen, everyone was like, we all of a sudden for 24 hours, we're angry at her.
We care. Yeah, it was awesome.
Do you feel like part of the reason you maybe aren't the most concerned about Huawei is because there's not a ton of trust with these companies in general regarding kind of your privacy?
Yeah, I think just as a whole topic, like privacy, as far as like your information, when you log into a Pixel and send all your info to Google, do you trust that? What are they doing with that? Are they listening? That dialogue has gotten louder because companies are now taking specific steps to be more transparent, or to at least be on the right side of history in a lot of these arguments, like giving you the choice to not allow certain things like location access, things like that. You're seeing that option pop up more and more. That's good. I like that. But I almost don't care personally if Google knows. I mean, they know everything about me already.
Sure.
Right? So yes, I will log into the next Google phone, because what more could they possibly know about me?
Yeah, I think it's a general understanding that privacy, I mean, we can take the steps, right? All the steps to try and protect ourselves as much as possible. But I feel like, the exchange for convenience has definitely been made for privacy. And but I do wonder, with how much noise has been made, if we're going to see regulation in big tech, because it feels like there are more and more pushers. It's seemingly bipartisan, just different levels.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing because it's in the best interest of us. It just seems so incredibly difficult to regulate these massive companies that will just find ways to do what they want to do anyway.
Yeah.
And so, it becomes just less about intent and what they're actually doing. So if you find out that this happened, for example, that recordings of what you asked Siri were being sent to Apple with a possibility of them being listened to by a real human. It's like, well, were they doing that intentionally to spy on you?
Right.
Or was that just a part of the process that they probably should have disclosed but didn't as well, and now they do it better? Because it was that second option, that's better. And that's the type of thing that you'll hear about, and legislation will sort of swirl around that, and they have to disclose, and that's good for us. But at the end of the day, none of these big companies want to be caught like intentionally spying on you or intentionally doing that horrible thing that you wish they wouldn't do because of privacy. So in general, I think they all sort of have their head in the right place as far as being on the right side of it. But if any of them don't, it's going to suck when legislation makes them change.